Could the New York Giants still be signing free agent wide receiver Gabe Davis as he was released by the Jacksonville Jaguars? We're going to break that down on today's show as you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. As we know, and as all of you know because you're subscribed to the channel, we put a video out a couple of weeks ago that Gabe Davis was going to take a free agency visit to the Giants. Then he did take a free agency visit, and we haven't heard anything since until Connor Hughes of SNY wrote this article this weekend saying it could still happen. Quote, "It's important to remember that any player available now in free agency is available for a reason. It's highly unlikely the Giants find any game changers. Gabe Davis, though, is among the most intriguing because of his connections to both Brian Daboll and GM Joe Schoen. Davis was in for a visit, and the two sides remain in contact. Signing Davis would be interesting, though, considering how it could impact Darius Slayton, a priority resigning, and Jalin Hyatt." So the news of the day coming out of that is the Giants and Davis remain in contact following the free agency visit that took place a couple of weeks ago. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I've reiterated it since then, and I am doubling and tripling down on it right now. The New York Giants should go out and have Gabe Davis put pen to paper to join this football team. The Giants lack talent at the wide receiver position. Their offense could use more playmaking. He fits well with the quarterback, and there's no reason not to get it done, unless the knee injury that ended his season last year with Jacksonville is not back to 100%. That is the only reason at this point not to get it done, because where you're at the wide receiver depth chart room with Malik Neighbors not even practicing at OTAs due to a toe injury that bothered him last year and bothered him at LSU, even though he participated at the Pro Bowl. I don't really understand this whole toe injury situation. Maybe they're just being smart with him, as Brian Daboll has said. But, let's keep it a buck here. Outside of Malik Neighbors, there's nothing that really excites me too much about this wide receiver room. Darius Slayton is a solid player. I'd feel a lot better if he was wide receiver 3 instead of wide receiver 2, but it is what it is. Wan'Dale Robinson, the former second-round pick, just hasn't lived up to being a second-round pick. He's a limited player. When you're a 5'8 slot receiver that hasn't shown the ability to be a deep threat, you're going to be limited, and he just is. Jalin Hyatt has been a bust up to this point in his career. I'm hoping this year is the year that he turns it around. He gets paired with a quarterback in Russ that wants to air it out. But I think putting all your eggs in the basket that Jalin Hyatt's going to break out is really risky. Zach Pascal has 2 catches in the last couple of years. Bryce Ford-Wheaton is a special teams player. You brought in little Jordan Humphrey, and he's got a cool name and all, but that's really all it is at this point. Gabe Davis is someone that's had at least some pretty solid success in the NFL. He's also been pretty damn healthy. He had an injury last year, but prior to that, 3 straight seasons of 17 games played. The Giants know him well. Joe Schoen is a big fan of his. And if you tell me the Giants can bring in a guy that can get you 48 grabs for 800 yards and a handful of touchdowns, sign me up. I also think there's a misconception about Gabe Davis a little bit. By no means am I saying he's a star. By no means am I saying he's a wide receiver too. But he can be a piece of an explosive offense at this point, as he's still just 26 years old. He's had 12 games of more than 80-plus yards. He has 29 career receiving touchdowns, 17 games of 20-plus yards per catch, and he has a contested catch rate of 39.7, which is equivalent to what a lot of great receivers last year did. Jamar Chase was 41. He's 39.7. So he could stretch the field. He could score. He is a one-play, chunk play guy, and he can create contested catch opportunities that benefit his football team. A lot of talk about, he drops the ball all the time. We'll talk about that. He's also maybe the best deep threat wide receiver left in free agency, and arguably from 2020 to 2023, he was the best deep threat wide receiver. His PFF grades on throws that travel 20-plus yards in the air. It's a scale of 0 to 100. 98, 98, 97, 99.4. Yes, that was Josh Allen. And this past year in Jacksonville, he was doing Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones, a little bit of a fall off. But Russell Wilson could do one thing still at an elite level, and that's throw the ball deep. Gabe Davis also, I think, gets thrown into an unfair bucket of he can't catch the football. 2 drops this past year, 4 the year before that, 7 the year before that, 4 before that, and 5 before that. 3 out of the last 5 years, he has a drop rate of less than 9%. That's pretty damn good. Darius Slayton was like 14.5 last year. Is he perfect? No. Are there things to like about him? Yeah. His best years were under Brian Daboll. He's a deep threat. He meshes with the quarterback. He's also someone that's played in big-time games before, in the playoffs. And he's played big time in those games. In 2021, we all remember what he did to the Kansas City Chiefs. Still one of the best post-corner posts I've ever seen, run by a wide receiver. Whoever that DB is, he's still on the ground somewhere. Like 121 yards per game in 2 playoff games. He then backdoors that the next year with 8 more grabs in 2 playoff games for 1 touchdown. He has 6 touchdowns in the playoffs in 4 games. The Giants could use someone like this. Like, you're an injury away from being in a bad spot, and I don't want to hear, oh, the Giants have no money. What are we going to do? We have $3.9 million in cap space. There's a button you can touch to free up another $25 million in cap space. And I'll say this, Gabe Davis, as it is what? Is it June 1st? June 2nd? Free agents on June 2nd don't get a lot of money. This is going to be maybe a veteran minimum type of deal. He also got like $17 million guaranteed from the Jaguars. He's looking for a spot to rehab his NFL career. What better way to do it? With a quarterback that does what you do well, a coach that coached you when you had your most success, and a general manager that believes in you. Like, jobs are on the line this year. Joe Schoen, you're still on the hot seat. Brian Daboll, you are still on the hot seat. And I'll tell you this, Brian Daboll, if you run it back with the same success, or I guess lack thereof success that you had last year, where the New York Giants averaged 16.1 points per game, the second worst in the NFL, and you brought back 10 of the 11 starters, you're going to be fired. Like, that just is what it is. So you need another explosive weapon. You have a quarterback that was the best deep-throwing quarterback in the National Football League last year. He had the 12th most big-time throws and only started like 9 regular season games. He has the 3rd best big-time throw percentage. He has the number 1 deep completion percentage and the number 1 deep PFF grade. What am I missing here with why Gabe Davis has not been signed? The knee must be absolutely trash at this point because it makes way too much sense. And like, I know we want to live in a world where nothing is ever going to happen in a bad way to our best players, but with the New York Giants, it happens all the time. The Giants are a Malik Neighbors injury away from being in offensive hell, in playmaker hell. You would have to roll out Darius Slayton, Jalin Hyatt, and Wan'Dale Robinson, as your slot wide receiver. That's the worst trio of wide receivers in the National Football League by far. Malik Neighbors he's like makeup. He covers up all the blemishes. But he also missed a couple games last year, and he's dealing with a toe injury right now. There's reps in OTAs that Gabe Davis could be getting to get on the same page with Russell Wilson and higher the ceiling for this offense. Does signing Gabe Davis make you a Super Bowl team? No. Does signing Gabe Davis make you the top team in the NFC East? No. But signing Gabe Davis makes you a more explosive team. And I know that bar is low. You averaged 16 points per game last year. It makes perfect sense. His best years were with the coach that calls the plays. His best years were with the GM that was the assistant GM that drafted him and pointed him out to Brandon Beat. What he does best is be a deep threat wide receiver. We have a quarterback who's the best deep threat thrower. I don't understand why it's not done. Get it done. Come on. Type your S for sign or type your P for I don't really know what I'm talking about at this point. Get your Jackson Dart jersey today. Another quarterback that wants to throw the ball down the field. Be nice to get a 6'2", 26-year-old wide receiver that had back-to-back receiving seasons of 800 yards. He looked really good throwing to him, and you're going to look really good in the Jackson Dart jersey. Get yours today, chatsports.com/dart, chatsports.com/dart. If the Giants, for whatever reason, think it's a bad idea to sign Gabe Davis or Davis decides to sign somewhere else, there's still other receivers out there that I think that they should pursue. We showed you the depth chart. It's not that good. Lil Jordan Humphrey and Zach Pascal are running with the ones in OTAs. That's an effing joke. Get Keenan Allen in here and be a veteran that the Giants can lean on. You got a 5'8" slot receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson. After that, it's Zach Pascal. He has 2 catches in the prior 2 years before joining this team. He's a little bit older, but in the NFL, it's a year-to-year league. Go get Keenan Allen. It makes a lot of sense. Or go out and get Amari Cooper. Like, this guy's still under 30. And if you tell me the Giants can add a receiver that's going to get you 44 grabs for 550 yards and 4 touchdowns, that's going to boost this offense by a lot. Amari Cooper's a damn good player still. It didn't work out in Buffalo. It's really hard to go be a receiver and join a team mid-year. I think there's still juice there, and it'd be a big boost to this wide receiver room. If you want to go low name, someone that could still produce, Tyler Boyd, the slot receiver, most notably recognized for what he did with the Cincinnati Bengals, playing alongside Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. He can come be a 6'2", 200-pound slot receiver that can get open and create first downs and move the chains and be a guy you can lean on outside of Wan'Dale Robinson and Zach Pascal, who has 2 catches in the last 2 years. Like, go add somebody else. You need more playmakers. The team that wins the games has more points than the other teams. You averaged 16 last year. You added 1 new starter. It's Russell Wilson. Your job's on the line. Like, you should be going out and trying to get all the talent you can to this team. If you agree with me, you disagree with me, and you want to yell at me, do it on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go Giants.